The NBA is about to hate what the Houston Rockets are about to do, as a new update shows two things that they can learn from the two teams in the finals this year and how they can finally make them the championship caliber team they have been so desperately setting out to do. Hello everybody, welcome to Rockets Digest. I'm your host, Donovan Ricondo. We appreciate you joining us today, but 85% of you watching these videos are not yet subscribed. What are you waiting for? This is all you need for all your Rockets content. Rockets Digest, we are here for you. Me and Jace have you covered throughout the entire off season. So go ahead, hit that button below. But today, we're talking about a new article from Michael Shapiro of Chron saying what the NBA Finals blueprint is for the Houston Rockets and things we must copy from the Thunder and the Pacers. And there's two things that he highlights in this article that indicate what makes a championship level team. Now, there's many things, right? There's defense, there's star caliber players, things like that. But these two areas are areas that the Houston Rockets currently lack. And if we can adjust them, it can finally be the key piece to unlocking what we want. And that is an NBA championship, first since 1995. And so we're going to break that down right now. The first key that Michael Shapiro highlights seems pretty obvious, but find the second scorer. And this is derived from the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? And you can also make the case that this very well aligns with Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Haliburton of the Indiana Pacers. But in terms of the Oklahoma City Thunder, you have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is your go-to guy, who is your MVP, over 30 points per game, has shown out this entire postseason. Kudos to him. But you also have a guy like Jalen Williams, who has been such a reliable and key factor in why they win these games. So you have Shai and Jalen Williams as a combination. And so the Houston Rockets need to find that second scorer. Now, in this article, it says that guy right now, your primary scorer, is Alperen Şengün. In case, a valid point, right? Alperen Şengün was by far the best player throughout the playoffs. He averaged 19 points per game throughout the regular season. He showed up, showed out, was our most consistent guy throughout those playoffs, and was kind of the reason why we were in those games against the Warriors, right? His physicality, his ability to post up and pass, and all things like that. Alperen Şengün being that guy. But now, who is our Jalen Williams on this team? Who is our other scorer that can get the job done? Well, we know who it's not, right? We know it's not any bench guy. We know it's not Tari Eason. We know it's not VanVleet. We know it's not Jabari Smith. And of course, I am leading to Jalen Green, right? Jalen Green essentially was supposed to be the first scorer. That obviously did not happen with his lackluster performance, but having Jalen Green fill that role, he was a leading scorer all regular season, but failed to show out in the playoffs. But having him as that guy, him cementing himself in that lineup, is what this team needs to make it to that next level. Now, whether or not you believe Jalen Green is capable of that is determinant upon you, the fan. It varies. Some say trade him, some say keep him. But essentially, it varies. So Michael Shapiro had this to say about Jalen Green. It's quite a lengthy quote, but stick with me here. He says, quote, "Green remains Houston's best path to a star perimeter scorer after his best scoring season to date. And we saw a flash of Green's superb scoring talent in a 38-point eruption in Game 2 against Golden State." And he later continued, "A lackluster playoff series and inconsistent performances over 4 seasons have left many questioning Green's future in Houston. He's trade eligible in July after signing a 3-year, $106 million contract extension last summer. Some prefer a more patient approach, hoping Udoka's program can bring out the best in a talented former number 2 pick." End quote. And he's completely right. I feel if all the coaches in the NBA, the ones that I trust the most is a guy like Ime Udoka, who has been in the NBA for so long. He was an assistant under Greg Popovich, has learned there, went to an NBA Finals with the Boston Celtics not too long ago in 2022. And so placing him in the system of Ime Udoka, Jalen Green can reach that potential. It wasn't this season. It was not. But the potential is, in fact, still there. Now, what's a downside for Jalen Williams? For Jalen Green. A Western Conference scout had this to say about it. He said, quote, he can't guard like Jalen Williams, but they're not that different as shooters and slashers. They can play a similar role with Green. He can't disappear like he did in so many playoff games. It's not really a skills thing. And that's a very interesting thing to point out when determining who your second scorer is to be, because Jalen Green has a lot of talent. He has those abilities to go out there and score in so many different ways. He proved it in 82 games in the regular season. He can get it done. It's just a matter of going out there and actually executing. Now, whether or not that is the offensive scheme or the defensive scheme of the other team, I know Golden State Warriors, they blitzed him a lot on a lot of those plays. But at the same time, it's a matter of you have the skills, you have the ability, but how do we execute that on the floor? And Michael Shapiro, he highlighted something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about that I feel is a very real possibility in terms of what to do with Jalen Green. He said, quote, perhaps Green will learn from his first playoffs and return as a revitalized player in 2025, 2026. If he starts slowly, Houston could explore the trade market to find a suitable complement to their star man in the middle, end quote. It's a very interesting thing because a lot of the talk right now is, trading Jalen Green right now. Trading him for Giannis, trading him for KD, whatever your thoughts or opinions may be on that. A lot of that talk is happening right now in free agency. But as much as we have, talked about trades on this channel, we've also talked about Rafael Stone and his want and need for having continuity in the Houston Rockets organization. And so if that's what they want, if they want to keep Jalen Green for the start of the 2025-2026 season, you can then make a decision based on how he plays in the first 52 games, I believe, is it up until the trade deadline or something like that. And if he starts off great and he's playing great and he's averaging 25 this year or next season, then yes, okay, keep him. Yeah, he's improving, he's developing, he is showing signs that he can be that kind of player in the playoffs. But if we're getting another 19, 20-point season, right, like a decrease in where he was last year and just an entire change of headspace, then that's when you can consider, okay, who can we get him now at the trade deadline? Now, you may be running a risk factor in there. You may not be getting as much for a guy like Jalen Green, but that is still a possibility for GM Rafael Stone. Now, that's the OKC side. The Indiana Pacers side. What can we expect? What can we learn from a guy like Tyrese Haliburton, from Coach Rick Carlisle, Pascal Siakam? What's something that their team does really well that Houston does not do as great as of right now? Well, according to Michael Shapiro, that second key learning is run, kids, run. Well, now, what does that mean? He is talking about pace. It's in the Indiana Pacers. It's right in the name. Pace is key for these two championship teams, because you can also make the case that the Thunder are one of the best paced teams in the NBA, which in fact they are. I believe they're like 2, whatever it was. These two teams have excellent pace. They're getting so many possessions throughout the game, and it has helped them be at the level that they are currently. I believe the Houston Rockets throughout the regular season were ranked 11th in pace, which is not bad, but if you want to be that championship level team, and that these teams have demonstrated throughout the entire regular season, throughout the entire playoffs, that is something that you want to do. In those games that we lost against the Golden State Warriors, I believe we only scored like 93 points, not getting as much scoring and possessions throughout those games. And so that is something that is going to have to be worked on for the Houston Rockets. And Michael Shapiro expands on this, kind of saying what I just said, or, quote, one lament for Udoka and Houston's coaching staff in its 7-game exit, the lack of easy transition buckets. Houston ranks number 11 in pace among the 16 playoff teams. And not surprisingly, they scored 93 points or fewer in 3 of their 4 playoff losses. And again, I just said this. I read it, probably got it from him. But yes, like, not being able to have as many possessions is killer, especially in the playoffs when all these teams are excellently paced teams. You rank 11 out of the 16 teams throughout the playoffs. That is something that you're going to have to improve upon next season. So whether that's a coaching adjustment, whether that's trading for faster players, whatever the case may be, the Houston Rockets can unlock this and get this done that way. Not only do I think it helps the team in the long run, you're going to win more, you're going to score more, but it's going to help guys like Jalen Green, right? Who's going to get more possessions, going to get more reps, get more turns in scoring that can help and build his confidence throughout the entire regular season. And so doing something like that has tremendous implications on all aspects of your team. And that can be the key to making yourself, that championship level team. At the very, very least, get past the first round, right? You were a 2 seed throughout the entering the playoffs, and to not get past the first round is not a good look. It is not where you want to be if you're the Houston Rockets. Yes, you are ahead of schedule. You are ahead of the timeline. Second seed is great, but to have that and squander that opportunity is an opportunity to miss. It's some place that we do not want to be. And last but not least, we had this last quote from Michael Shapiro that I do want to bring out about the pace statistics. He says, quote, "A key element of their success," talking about the Pacers, "definitely look at the pace statistics. Indiana ranked as the NBA's 7th fastest team with just over 100 possessions per game during the regular season. Rick Carlisle's team is the 3rd fastest in the playoffs, boasting the 2nd best offensive rating." So once again, increasing the pace for the Houston Rockets could do tremendous things for the team. It's what the Indiana Pacers did. It's what the Oklahoma City Thunder did. Getting a second scorer. It's what OKC did, and it's what the Indiana Pacers did. Right? Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Haliburton, that duo, NBA Finals appearance. Same thing with OKC, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Jalen Williams. I'm not saying these are the only things, right? I'm not saying that. But these are areas where the Houston Rockets are struggling. It is areas that they are not great at. They have a great defense. They're fantastic on defense. And as we all know, growing up, defense wins championships. But not having these two things are putting this team in a position where success, and whether that be a championship or a Western Conference championship, whatever you want to define success as, I define it as a championship. By not having these two things, you don't even give yourself a real chance. And so improving upon these things throughout the offseason, through trades or simply just coaching, right, if you want to keep your continuity, are very, very key for the Houston Rockets entering next season. And with that, let me know in the comments what you think. Are there other areas that the Houston Rockets must improve entering next season? I know one of them is shooting as well. We'll get to that later. We've talked about that, but that is one of them as well. Let me know in the comments, and if you made it to the end of the video, that tells me that you're a true Rockets fan, so hit that button below, that subscribe button. All right, thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you guys next time on Rockets Digest.